Once upon a time.
They lived happily ever after.
Do you ever wish the stories could start this way?
But they never do.
One usually has to endure wicked step-relatives, beautiful princesses, and a fairy godmother here and there. Or in this case,
Let's just start from the beginning. Bubba the Cowboy Prince.
A Fractured Texas Tale.
By Helen Kettleman.
Once, a strapping young feller named Bubba lived on a ranch with his wicked stepdaddy and his hateful and lazy stepbrothers, Dwayne and Milton.
Bubba's stepdaddy spoiled Dwayne and Milton to no end, but Bubba worked from sunup to sundown, doing the chores of 3 ranch hands. Bubba never complained though, he loved ranching.
Now, Dwayne and Milton spent their days sitting on horseback, bossing Bubba around.
Get them dogs along there, Bubba.
Yeah, and watch out for them cow patties. Oh. You know how Daddy hates for you to track up the house. Now, Miss Laureline, who lived down the road a piece, was the prettiest and richest gal in the county, and she owned the biggest spread west of the Brazos. She loved ranching too, but it was lonesome work, and soon she decided it was time for some companionship.
I aim to find me a feller, one who loves ranching as much as I do, and it wouldn't hurt if he was cute as a cow's ear either. Miss Laureline decided to throw a ball. She sent invitations to all the ranchers in Texas.
Soon the day of the ball arrived. Dwayne, Milton, and their wicked stepdaddy spent all day getting guzzied up in their finest studs. Bubba about ready to self-ragged waiting on them.
Bubba! Bubba, fetch my bolo tie!
Bubba, get my boots polished!
By the time they were ready to go, Bubba was exhausted. Still, as they climbed into the wagon.
Can you wait for me to get ready? I want to dance with Miss Laureline too.
Why, you're sorrier than a steer in a stockyard.
Yeah! Can you imagine Miss Laureline dancing with the likes of you? Miss Laureline wouldn't even wipe the dirt clods off her boots with that raggedy shirt of yours, and you smell more like the cattle than I do.
Bubba took a look at himself. It was true. He didn't have a decent shirt to wear, and his boots were downright disgraceful. Dwayne and Milton were right. Miss Laureline wouldn't dance with the likes of him. Bubba hung his head. He felt lower than a rattlesnake in a gulp.
Dwayne, Milton, and their wicked stepdaddy headed off for the ball. Bubba went to the back pasture to check on the herd. The sky was getting darker than a black bull at midnight, and it looked like a Texas thunderstorm was brewing. Bubba had just reached the cow pasture when a bolt of lightning struck. Bubba was stunned for a moment. But when he picked himself up, he heard a voice. Go to the ball. Bubba looked around. No one was there except him and the cows. Now Bubba figured he'd bonk the bejeebers out of his bean because the voice was coming from a cow. She chewed her cud for a moment.
I'm your fairy god cow.
God cow?
I will help you go to the ball.
I'd love to go to the ball, Miss God Cow. But shoot, I don't have a thing to wear.
The fairy god cow swished her tail, and Bubba's raggedy clothes turned into the handsomest cowboy duds he'd ever laid eyes on. His jeans were crisp, his boots were shiny, his shirt was dazzling, and his Stetson was whiter than a new Salt Lake.
Why, I look downright pretty. The fairy god cow swished her tail again, and a nearby steer turned into the most beautiful white stallion he'd ever seen.
Now you go off to the ball, Bubba, and have a good time dancing with Miss Laureline. But you'd best be home by midnight, because that's when the magic runs out.
Bubba jumped on his horse and galloped off to the ball. When he arrived, the hoedown was in full swing. But every time Miss Laureline finished a dance, she yawned.
Ah, where are all the real cowboys? By the time it was Bubba's turn to dance, it was almost midnight. But as soon as Miss Laureline saw Bubba, her eyes lit up. Ding! Why, you're cute as a cow's ear. Bubba blushed, then started dancing. Wah, 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 wah. Dwayne and Milton turned purple with jealousy.
Bubba and Miss Laureline were right in the middle of do-si-doing when the clock struck midnight. Bubba's fine duds were turned into the raggedy clothes that he usually wore around the ranch. He looked sorry and he smelled worse.
What is that smell?
It's Bubba!
Bubba?
Bubba! Now Bubba, he turned, 14 shades of red, apologized to Miss Laureline, and ran out of the room.
Wait!
She yelled, chasing after him. But Bubba didn't wait. He jumped on his cow and lumbered off into the night. In the ruckus, he lost one of his dirty old boots. Miss Laureline clasped it in her arms.
This is the boot of a real cowboy, and the man I want to marry, and I aim to find him.
The next day, Miss Laureline went from ranch to ranch, looking for the cowboy who owned the boot. When she came to Dwayne and Milton's ranch, both brothers tried it on. But it didn't fit.
Miss Laureline had climbed on her horse and was about to go when Bubba rode up. He was dirty, sweaty, and smelly from working with the cows, and he was only wearing one boot.
Try this on.
Much obliged, ma'am. It fit perfectly.
You're my princey in cowboy boots. Marry me, cowboy, and help me work my ranch.
Dwayne, Milton, and their wicked stepdaddy threw chicken fits. But Bubba just smiled. He and Miss Laureline rode off into the sunset.
They lived happily ever after.
The end.